and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be doing a full-on review, test out, try out of the OXX brand, and this is the in-house Kmart cosmetic brand. So I do believe it's actually developed by Kmart, and of course it is exceptionally cheap. So everything that we're about to try on today, the total actually ended up costing me $55, which is ridiculous because we have got foundation, we have got primers, we have got concealers, we have blushes, we have eyeshadows. So yeah, we literally have got it all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, you know, just like I normally would do my makeup. I'm going to take you through all the steps. Then I'm going to do a bit of a wear test. So I'll come back and tell you how everything wore and my overall thoughts on everything. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So if this sounds like something you might be interested in, then please keep on watching. Okay, so to start off with, I did get this primer. So this is the OXX Studio Primer. And this one here is the Hydrating Primer. So when I was there, they did have a whole bunch of different ones, which I thought was really great. So I did grab the hydrating one because for me personally, typically I have quite dry skin. So I thought this would be best suited to myself.
A few moments later.
I have just opened this, guys, and I have to say the applicator is not the best, to put it mildly. It's definitely not coming out with ease.
More moments later.
Oh dear. Okay. Straight away I can feel there is so much silicone that I think is in this primer. It's crazy. Oh yeah. So much silicone. Oh my goodness. Okay. That's alright. Okay, so that's all rubbed in. It definitely feels very, very silicone-y, that's for sure. But I'm not too surprised about that, just given the price point. So moving on, the next thing we have is foundation. So I have no idea if this is going to be my shade or not. I literally tried to colour match best I could through looking at the packaging. So we'll see. Now this one here is from their baseline. So this is not the Studio OXX, it's just the standard. So let's just see how this works. So this foundation it's not the matte finish one. I got more of the natural finish foundation because I just thought that was going to be best for me. I don't like anything that's overly too matte. That's just my own personal preference. So to blend this out, I'm going to use one of their beauty sponges. So I picked up this color right here. I did do a full dedicated video on these sponges. So if you haven't seen that already, I will link that up in the bio for you guys just to check out. I absolutely, spoiler alert, love these sponges. I think they are phenomenal for the price. Literally, they are like $3 each. They are so cheap. And yeah, I just think they are really, really good. Okay, so let's just go ahead and bounce this foundation in, shall we? Okay, so that's one layer down. I think I might go in with another layer. I'm not usually I'm not into full coverage, that's for sure. And it does say that it's a natural finish, which would suggest that it's only light to medium coverage. So I'm just gonna go in with one more layer because it's probably just a little bit too on the light coverage side for me. So I'm just gonna go in with one more layer and see how that goes. Okay, so overall for the foundation, I think that's blended in really nicely. The coverage is definitely light, which is what it says, so that's fine. I don't have any issues with that. And overall, it doesn't, it feels fine. It definitely needs to, I think, dry down, that's for sure, and we're gonna definitely need to set it in. But yeah, first impression so far, I'm liking it. I don't have any issues with it. Okay, so up next we have concealer. So this is by the Exos, this is the Studio one. And again, it was just one of those things that I looked at the box and assumed that this is going to be my shade. So it might be too light, it might not be light enough, we'll see. Okay, really tiny doe foot applicator, like that is very, very small. Oh wow. Okay. That is pretty much the same color, if not darker than my current foundation. That is great. Alright then. Wonderful. So I'm also going to pop this. I actually feel like my eyes are burning a little bit. Why is it doing that? Having said that, I'm just going to put a little bit on my eyelids as well, just because I didn't actually see any eyeshadow primer, so we'll just use that as primer today. And I'm just going to go ahead and bounce that in. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that's done absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Okay, so moving on, we have some studio powder. So I got the Porcelain #1 shade. It's just the pressed powder, and it's supposed to give you a matte finish. So what I'm gonna do is just take my big fluffy powder brush and hope for the best. That's actually not looking too bad. What I might do is just, I'm going to take the other side of my little sponge and just dip a little bit into this powder and see if I can't press it under my eyes, just to sort of brighten it up a little bit more and set that concealer a little bit more. Yeah, I feel like that did something. I do. I definitely feel like that did something. Okay, next up we have a baked blush. And this is in the shade Apricot #2. Really, really pretty colour. I feel like I've just put highlighter on my cheeks. Where's the apricot glow? Like, oh, I can see the glow, but like, where's the apricot? Okay, moving on. I don't know how I'm feeling about all this. Okay, up next we have their brow pencil, and I got the shade medium, and this is part of the studio collection. So I'm just going to use the spoolie on this end just to sort of brush through my brows. Okay, so this is the tip of the crayon. So just, yeah, it literally does just look like a crayon. So I'm just going to go ahead and run that through and see how it works. Okay, brows are on and done, and I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with them, to be honest. I thought that pencil did the job really well. So yeah, moving on, we have got the eyeshadow palette. So this one here is the Naturals eyeshadow palette, and it's 28 shades for $10. So it's extremely inexpensive. The shades do look quite nice. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what we can create. Oh, and I am just gonna mention, now I didn't pick up any bronzer or highlights because I actually couldn't find any. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take probably these two shades just here. I'm gonna mix them together and sort of create like a custom bronzer for myself, and sort of hope that that works. Might be a little bit too orange, but for the sake of trying it, we're going to try it. I don't think that's too bad, actually. I don't think that's too bad at all. Not mad at that. That's all right. And then for highlight, I think what I'm going to do is... Oh dear. For highlight, I think what I'm going to do is just grab this shade here, and I'm just going to take that on my Morphe Y14 brush, because I think it's going to sheer out really nicely. Yeah, I think, yeah, as you can, I think that's worked really well. So it's one of those things, like, it is a little bit on the chunkier side, which is probably not what I'm into, but for the sake of finding a highlight and making this all work for the price, happy to do that. Okay, so for our eyes, what I'm going to do to start off with is I'm just going to take this colour just here, and I'm going to take it on a Morphe, what is this, G14 brush, and we're just going to start to place it basically from the outside corner into our crease and across. Then using the same brush, I'm going to take this shade right here. It's like a light matte brown. And I'm just going to work it on the outside corner. And just sort of bring it into the crease slightly above my natural crease line. And that's done absolutely nothing. Okay, I'm gonna take this color now and basically with the same brush do the same technique, just keeping it on the outer V. What I'm going to do now is take this colour, so it's the really, really deep colour out of the palette, and just in case, you know, it's got something to do with my brush, I'm going to be taking this on a MAC 233 brush, because I just sort of want to deepen that outer V up a little bit. Okay, so this is starting to look a little bit better. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shimmery shade. I always do gold, so I'm going to do something a bit different this time. I'm going to go for this shade right here. So I'm going to try it dry, and then I'm going to wet the brush depending on how it works. I'm just going to take a little bit of Fix Plus, so I'm just going to get some more of the shadow on the brush and just spray it. So I would do this with any other normal glittery eyeshadow, so we'll see whether this sort of is going to intensify it a bit more. There we go. That's way better. Oh yeah, that's way better. Way, way better. Thank God for Fix Plus. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to jump back. I'm going to use my Morphe G14 brush again. I'm going to go into that darkest shade and I'm just going to re-deepen that outer corner just a little, just the tiniest amount, just to blend the shadows together. And then from there, I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab a little pencil brush. So I'm going to go in with a lighter shade, just this one here, just because I want to highlight our brow bone. Okay, next I have this eyeliner and it's just in the shade black. It's just a standard gel liner pen. First I'm going to do my waterline and then I might take it slightly above. Okay, so just again with a little pencil brush, I'm going to take that deepest shade again, the darkest shade in the palette, and I'm just going to run that under our lower lash line. Then with that same shade that we used to put all over the lid, I'm just going to grab a little bit of it dry and I'm just going to pop it in that inner corner. And I think that's where I'm going to leave that eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go ahead and finish this eye off and then I'll come back because I've got some lashes and mascara to test out with you as well. Okay, and we are back, hopefully looking symmetrical. So the next thing that we've got to test out is their mascara. So this is just from the base line. This one here, they had a whole bunch of different mascaras. So I ended up picking up the volumizing one. So this is what it looks like. And the wand, I'm assuming, is going to be like a big O. So it turns out I managed to somehow pick up the volumizing blue mascara. Fabulous. Okay. Well, we're going to do it. So I'm so happy with myself right now. Okay, let's just go for it, shall we? Oh, it smells like paint. Not really what you want to smell, I don't think. I'd say they're more stuck together than volumized. but it's okay. And that smell is really intense. I really don't know what it is. Like I said, it reminds me of like paint, and it's kind of making my eyes feel a bit watery, if anything. But that's okay. Moving on. We have some lashes. So these are the Studio lashes. These are the Glamour lashes. Oh, it does come with eyelash glue. That's good. So these were the most natural lashes I could find in the range. Don't know how they're gonna go with my natural blue lashes today. Okay, so for glue today, I'm just gonna use my House of Lashes glue. All right, let's just go ahead, pop these on. Okay, so lashes are on. I don't know how long they're gonna stay there for, but... Okay, so for lips today, we have this little lip gloss right here. So I did see a few liquid lips, but I wasn't really into the color range. So I did just decide to pick up this lip gloss instead because it did look quite pigmented. So I have to say, overall, I'm pretty happy with the pigmentation from the lip gloss. It feels a little bit like, so it's burning a little bit, which I don't know whether that's a good thing. It's like, when I say burning, it's more like a plumping sort of feel. So I didn't know it was a plumping gloss. It doesn't suggest that anywhere actually on the packaging. So I'll see how that wears. Okay, so to set our face, we're just gonna go ahead and use this little setting spray here. So this is the OXX Cosmetics Makeup Setting Spray. It's got rose hips oil in it. So yeah, let's just give it a go. It's a mister like. Oh, yeah, not too bad. Okay, when I said not too bad, it's terrible. I feel like I've just sprayed water all over my face. It's not a fine mist at all. But having said that, it does smell really, really good. It actually smells exactly what it suggests on here. So it smells like rose. That's really nice. I'm just going to, because of how the mister was, it's kind of left a weird residue on my face. So I'm just gonna press that in. Okay, so this is it, guys. I have a couple of things that I got to do today. So it's about 10:30 in the morning. So I'm going to head out, run a few errands, and then I'm going to come back, check in with you all, and let you know how it all wore for the day, and give you my final thoughts on all the products. Hey guys, and I'm back with my check-in. So it is now about 7 o'clock, so it's been about 8 hours since I've had this makeup on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down product by product and let you know my overall thoughts and if I think it's worth it. So let's start with the beginning, shall we? So where's the base? Here it is. So to start off with, we used this primer today. Now this was incredibly silicone-y. I'm not really into really silicone-y primers, and if I was going to, any silicone based primer that I honestly would use would definitely have to be Pore Professional from Benefit. That is the only one that I really do enjoy. The rest of them I just find don't really do anything for my skin whatsoever. I don't feel like this did anything for the foundation at all, if I'm being honest. Next up, we have the foundation. So this, you know what? If it didn't settle into my fine lines how it has, I would actually really like this foundation. So overall, like after I did put 2 layers on it, on my skin, and I did find, you know, it blended out fine. I thought the color wasn't too bad at all, actually. It's just the fact that it settled so much into my fine lines that I can't recommend for that exact reason, unfortunately. Otherwise, it would have been an absolute steal for the price point. The concealer, where is that? Here it is. This was terrible. So this is in the shade number 1 Porcelain, and this was, I believe, from what I could see, the lightest foundation that I could get. So I just want to show you guys a comparison side by side, because the thing is that, you know, I think with concealer, yes, it's good to try and get something that is close to your foundation shade, but for predominantly what it is used for, aside from concealing, you know, you really do want to sort of use it to brighten up your under eye and sort of highlight certain areas of your cheeks. So, certain areas, highlight certain points of your face rather. So I just want to show you, so I've got a swatch of the foundation just up here, and I've got the concealer down here. So I guess my point is that if your lightest foundation shade is in fact lighter than your lightest concealer shade, there's an issue. So yeah, wasn't too impressed with that at all, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Up next we have the pressed powder. Now this was actually, I was quite pleasantly surprised by this powder. So I definitely do feel like it was mattifying, that's for sure. You know, you do get some good pigment there. And look, I feel like it did the job really well. It set everything in. I thought it looked quite nice on the skin when I did it. I didn't feel like it was overly drying, which was one of my main concerns at the time. In many ways, I think this powder actually saved my under eye area quite dramatically, if I'm honest. So I was quite pleasantly surprised by this one. Okay, next up we have the blush. So this one here, I was really surprised because it looks very pretty. It looks very sort of pigmented. And then you go ahead and swatch it, and I actually feel like it's more of a highlighter than a blush. So, you know, it is nice, but it doesn't really do much, I don't believe, as a blush. You could definitely use this as a blush topper for sure. You could even use it as a highlight, 100%. But yeah, as a blush on its own, I just don't think it worked the way that it should have, and I don't really feel like I've got next to any colour left on my cheek after wearing it for about 8 hours either. So that's the only downside to this one. But look, as a highlighter, I definitely think it would work just fine, and I do think it's very pretty. So yeah. Okay, up next we have the eyeshadow palette. So you would have seen today when I was applying the shadows, there was some that were very hit and miss. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually swatch a few of the ones I didn't use today, just to sort of give you an idea and show you. Okay, so here are some swatches. I think, looking at this, the palette's $10. Some of these shadows work, some of them don't show up at all and are completely useless, in my opinion. So look, overall, you know what, it was 10 bucks. I think that if you're on a budget, you know, and you need to make it work, this will achieve that for you. Look at my eyes today. I'm still very happy with the look that we were able to create overall, and also how the shadows held up throughout the day. I think that they've done really well. With the shimmers, I would definitely recommend wetting your brush, of course, but I do that with any eyeshadow palette anyway. So yeah, this actually was a definite pass for me. I think for 10 bucks, you can't go wrong. All right, moving on, we have, oh, this was great. So we have this wonderful mascara. I did not mean to get the blue color. I really didn't, but I made it work. I made it work, and I hope you appreciate my hustle. This formula wasn't my favorite. I found like it didn't separate my lashes very well. I feel like they all sort of clumped together, and I mean, it was supposed to be the volumizing mascara, but I didn't really feel like it did too much volumizing. And given the price point, I think that for, you know, a couple of dollars more, you can go and get a Maybelline mascara and slay all day, you know. So yeah, probably would not recommend this, to be perfectly honest with you. Up next we have the brow product, and I would 100% recommend this. My brows still look, I think, quite nice. Yeah, the product lasted really well in them. I didn't touch them up at all. I didn't add anything else to them. They've lasted really well, and I'm very happy with it. So I would recommend this brow pencil to anybody and everybody. The eyeliner. So this was interesting. I didn't find like, I just didn't find it was overly pigmented. I'll just show you. I mean, it's black, obviously. I don't know, it's just not the blackest pencil liner that I own, if you know what I'm saying. So it did the job. Not my favorite, but if you're on a real tight budget, then it will achieve what you're trying to, yeah, it'll achieve the look for you. So this is a pass for me too. Next up we have the gloss. Now I was actually really sad about this. You probably noticed I have nothing on my lips right now. There is a reason for that. Look, this gloss was really pretty in the color. I'll just show you. You know, like it swatches beautiful. The color is actually a really gorgeous color gloss. But you know, the problem with this gloss is the fact that it actually burnt the living bejeebus out of my lips today. And I did look it up, and it didn't have any form of plumping properties or anything like that in it. So I thought, I'm gonna take this off now because it shouldn't be stinging the way that it's stinging, if you know what I'm saying. That just, no, No, so I took it off. So yeah, based on that, I wouldn't recommend it, which is really sad because the colour's pretty and it did feel quite not comfortable on the lips with the exception of the burning part. That was a fail. But as you probably would have seen from my previous video dedicated to this little sponge, I love these sponges. I did discover that they do these little triangle sponges as well. They worked really well as well. Love the sponges, they're $3. Recommend to everybody and anybody. I think they work amazingly. Next up we have the setting spray. So this actually smells beautiful. It smells so nice. It literally smells like roses. So good. But the actual like spritzer is terrible. And it literally feels like you're just, you know what it feels like? You know when you have, when you get out of the shower or you get out of the pool or whatever and you've got water on your fingers and you flick it at somebody. I don't know why I came up with, I could have just said when you wash your hands. Anyway, I digress. It does, it feels like, you know, somebody's just like sort of flicking water at you from their fingers. That is literally what it feels like when you spray this on your face. So yeah, you would have seen in the video as well that I had to sort of, you know, blot it all in and sort of blend it out because it sort of went like, not just that it oxidized the foundation, but it just sort of went blotchy and weird. So I had to sort of like, you know, press it into the skin and settle it all down. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it based on that. And yeah, I think that's everything. I think we've gone through it all. Oh, the lashes. I don't recommend the lashes. I'm actually going to take these off now. You know, these were just terrible. The band to begin with is way too thick. The actual lashes themselves, I mean, obviously they're extremely synthetic. They're not comfortable to wear. They just don't look right. Like, not to say that they're not a natural lash at all. But yeah, they didn't sit well. I didn't feel like they sat well all day. Any lashes that feel heavy that you can sort of see, never good to wear. So yeah, happy to get them off. And I'll be happy to get this blue mascara off as well, I have to say, at the end of all of this. So yeah, that's it guys, that's my final thoughts. So there were some hits, some misses. You know, I have to say, look, at the end of the day, obviously it is very, very cheap. It's very, very affordable. And so with that, there has to be certain things that you're not going to find, obviously, in high-end makeup or even, you know, the middle market. So overall, have to say, yeah, can't recommend it as a brand overall, but there are, you know, there are definitely some products in here that I think are well worth picking up. So yeah, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys all on the next one. Mwah, bye-bye.